Hey, this is part two, number two of 52 for the weekly Sunday. Who the who the hell is this Martin Pariseau? Le Martin Pariseau, really? Well, somebody that I enjoy spending time with. Don't always want to be just with me, but he's a funny guy and a creative guy. And um, hey, John, almost finished this. Gonna say this particular version. Whoever did your editing or spell checking, starting from the latter, let's separate it in two. The second part of the book has a lot of typing or editing mistakes. Yeah, this is very different for you. I mean, you had sexuality as a topic in The Old Man War, but I mean, this does seem like sci-fi erotica as a way to differentiate it, let's say, from the Foundation series. There's a lot of jokes can be made by the name of the ships you use. You also insulted yourself, which is kind of funny, on page, I don't know if it's 296 or something, where I just watched an episode of She-Hulk on Disney Plus, but also Deadpool does this. I think they call it breaking the fourth wall. So you're kind of talking about, or your character is saying that the person, if I'm a fictional character, the person's an idiot kind of thing. Anyways, I don't want to give too much away or read the exact line, but uh, so yeah, so there's some new ideas I'm getting from you to pursue in my head, which are enjoyable because I enjoy kind of big picture systems thinking ideas that I didn't get from the Foundation series, the books that I read about 7 times. Didn't get a lot of new ones from the Foundation series on Apple TV. I might in season 2, maybe. But I wanted to say that, yeah, you've given me some ideas about cultural repair on a global scale as someone who calls themselves the professor of sociocybernetics. That's all I'm going to say. So I've been applying for a lot of PhDs in the last week or two. And the topics that I choose usually would be psychology or education or anthropology or sociology. But reading your book, I did decide, either master's degree or bachelor or PhD in this subject might be useful due to the ignorance of the general population when it comes to cultural repair. But the thing is I'm also very creative to not be deceitful about this in ways that, characters from the Foundation series and your series would be, because, it takes a lot of creativity to, well, that's not it actually. It's actually the premise that our species is extremely not that bright. You don't show signs of knowing this. I don't know anybody else who shows signs of knowing this in either the fictional or the non-fictional world of writers or people I, listen to YouTube videos about. So you might not realize that we are so dumb that you don't need to be dishonest in certain ways, that transparency, as I do it, is, strategy hidden in plain sight is pretty much good enough for 99.96% of the people primates. So that means whether people agree with me or not, it's not like I will have been deceitful in my lifetime with the things I work on. As somebody with an ecocentric worldview, that means the survival of the biosphere before the survival of my species, especially as I can objectively assess my species to be harmful to life on this planet, um, and not just because they choose to be when they are aware of it, but also because they're extremely dumb about not knowing they're doing it as a general population, and they're quite happy to remain like this. Too dumb to know they rely on the biosphere and what they're doing at mass as behaviors is not going to work. So today I watched a new Just Have a Think, I think it's called, YouTube channel I listen to, where the guy is, I mean, he's still very hopeful and positive as he delivers data from other scientists that show, yeah, chances are it's not going to be very good in the future. So what's weird again is his incongruence, which you can tell is partially fueled by human chauvinism, like you and pretty much everybody I met. I don't know anybody that doesn't suffer at high levels from human chauvinism, and it's going to get worse because people need to believe somehow we're going to create a technological miracle, whether you believe in God or science or what money can or can't buy or what millionaires or billionaires will decide or not decide to do. In your bliss of ignorance, which seems to be everybody I've ever met, is people believe, including the guy from Just Have a Think. And if he doesn't believe that, if he knows what's coming, I tell you, he's not being responsible about the data he's delivering. Because, for example, he should be saying, hey, just under the, let's say 10% chance this is what's coming in our lifetime, much less in the ones of your kids and grandkids. Wouldn't it be a good idea to say what none of these papers that anybody ever delivers says, which is what Martin says, is the biggest threat even to COP26 and COP27 is that the people primates show up for it. Like it's really like the Anthropocene people, like it's us, okay? So don't let us fix the Anthropocene because all we're going to do is make it worse. So this is pretty obvious. So when I'm applying for PhDs in these different categories where I would be trying to bring light to what is the denial about a lot of things or just the refusal to study things because it's not going to bring academic elitist rewards, because it will make the person very unpopular, which is something I can handle with my sentience and sapience and the variety of my human thinking tools, is to say how we're not good and we're not going to become good, and it's too late for us to figure out even what good would look like in behaviors. It's pretty much too late for these social tipping points. And again, as much as the studies are fairly accurate in the chemical and physical and geological sciences, they always exclude the real truth about us as a species, the human condition, is that even if, we know exactly which strategy to apply for the benefit of our kids and grandkids, which we're too dumb to continue to stop bringing into the world, to save the biosphere, which would be the Zeroth law under the Foundation series, to not harm kind of the greater concept that you belong to, really is not just you as an individual, but which again is very parallel to the ecocentric worldview, is we're never going to reach levels of sentience and sapience in this way as a species. I mean, I know this is why I'm shutting down my course. I already knew at the beginning, but I mean, I have to do my due diligence. I have to look for miracles that I don't believe in while collecting data at the same time to fine-tune my theory. So in psychology, in anthropology, in sociology, in education, and other things, is I will be able to make progress with my own theory, or just how to deliver the messages about my own theory, or how to work on mitigation ventures into social systems because of the chemical, other biological life forms that we are destroying that are more important than us as species, and geological and physical sciences are telling us is I need to be the one. I wish I was a cosmologist. It's hard for me to not actually find out what's happening right now. Like right now, if somebody's studying astronomy or cosmology or astrophysics, I tell you, not just with CERN that I recently talked about, but with the James Webb Telescope, I tell you, if you're studying something right now, you're studying as a lot of things are changing or progressing or fine-tuning themselves in these sciences. So it's pretty exciting. I wish that's how I was spending my life, but it turns out I'm also spending my life after all the social tipping points have passed where we can save ourselves. It's kind of too late, and my goal is to do as much as I can for our species to not take the rest of the biosphere down with us. That's kind of who I am, and I could explain my choices in this regard, including long-term planning for my life while my brain seems to work and my physical body seems to work, but while I would also be not that unhappy with a terminal diagnosis if it ever came up.